So we're just gonna stand here with our feet just hip width apart and rock from your heels to your toes, just noticing the space between those toes, and then make that movement smaller and smaller until you've got even weight through the feet, and just drop that tailbone underneath you, and taking the arms out to the side, just breathe into the sides of the rib cage and just lengthen through the spine. Nice deep breath in, and then exhale, bring those arms down by the side of you and roll the shoulders back. We're then gonna just place our right leg across our left leg and just balance there. Then take your same hand up behind your head, and now here we're going to side bend away, down our leg, opening up rib cage to pelvis, and back to center. And again here, opening up. If you need a wider stance through the legs, do. And last one here, open up. And back to center. Then from here, we're going to step this leg out to the side. You can turn the foot out slightly, and we're going to lunge over, just increasing the stretch, and come down onto your elbow. Place the other hand behind your head and side bend over here, and then back. And again, opening up and back. Last one. And back, and then we're going to press through, bring that leg across, hand comes up, and then we're just going for one side bend down the leg. Reach back to center, step out wide, and lunge and open up. Back to center, press, hand comes behind your head, open up. Back to center, last one, we step out, lunge, open up. Back to center, step. We're going to come across one last opening. Then back to the midline, feet just hip width apart. Place your hands behind your head and just slide your shoulders up towards your ears, and then glide them away. Up towards your ears, and then glide them away. Then from here, we're going to slide our back down that imaginary wall behind us into just a mini squat here. And now just give yourself a double chin and start to roll that chin down onto your chest. Then you're going to soften that rib cage, breastbone in towards your spine and start to curl down. Round through the body and just tuck your tailbone under, deep C through the spine. And now lift the tailbone, flare those sit bones and just sink through the belly and open the elbows wide and scoot back up. So this is a dolphin here as we sink down, press down, soften through the legs, tailbone tucks under. Then lift the tailbone, sink the belly wide through the elbows, press up. In a nice smooth flow now, releasing through the back, working into flexion and then extension. And here, last one, we fold, open, and come up. Nice soft shoulders, reach those arms up, breath in, and then extend those fingers away from you, from each side of the body, stretch, and then let those arms come down, roll your shoulders back. We're going to switch sides, so bring that left foot across the front of the body, hand comes behind the head, and we just side bend down, dropping that shoulder away from the ear towards the floor. Open up, back to center, and open up, back to center. Last one, keep the elbow wide, and imagine you're just side bending between two panes of glass. And back to center. Then from here, we bring this leg out, we step it out, lunge, feel that stretch into the inner thigh, elbow comes onto the knee, and we side bend here. Keep the elbow up to the ceiling as best you can, and release. Two more here, open, release. Last one, and release. We step all the way across, hand comes behind, side bend down the leg just for one here, and release, step out and lunge, open, release, step through and side bend, release. One last time, we step out, we lunge, open, and then step through, side bend through. Keep those headlights on those hip bones facing forward, you don't get a rotation through the body. And then release and step back to center. Hands come behind the back of the head, slide those shoulders up. Just balance that head on those shoulders, glide them away, slide up, glide away. Then here, double chin, start to sink into your squat and then sink that breastbone, ribs into the waist, curl through the spine, deep C, tucking the tailbone under, and then we lift the tailbone, sink the belly open wide through the elbows, press up, through flow there, sink, round, release into extension. 2 more. And last one. Open up, press back to center. Breath in. Keep those shoulders nice and soft and reach those arms up. Then exhale, curl down through the spine. I'm going to turn side on and we're going to come into our roll down and just hang here. Soft knees, don't lock them out. And just lift your tailbone and you'll get that nice lift or stretch through the back line. Swing those arms with a little bit of momentum and let gravity bring them to a stop. Rock the head side to side and let gravity bring it to a stop. Nice, we're going to come back through our roll down here, so drop the tailbone, so the initiation of the movement is tailbone down, sinking those deep abdominals inwards, and you don't want your body weight to be back, you want to try and keep your tailbone stacked over your heels as you restack through the low back, mid back, upper back, peel that chin away from the chest and reach up. One more here, roll through the spine. Imagine peeling that spine away from an imaginary wall behind you. Soft knees, don't lock out. Lift the tailbone and hang. Even weight through the bridges of the feet and just notice the space between the toes. From here, we're going to come into our downward dog. So walk your hands forward into hands slightly wider than your shoulders. And then glide your shoulder blades down the chest wall and let the head hang heavy. You want to push the weight back into your feet and really lift your tailbone up to the ceiling to create that nice V. We're going to rise up onto our toes. So here you've offloaded the back line and just let go of any tension through the upper body. And now we're going to sink one heel and just take your time here to hold. Okay, into a walk series here, and as you hold, check that foot is nice and balanced from left to right, that you've got even weight through it. Just hold that end range, try and take the weight back into the feet, lift the tailbone, and then rise up and switch. Hold. So it tends to be we roll onto the outside edge of the foot, so just try and find that even weight through the big toe, little toe and heel bones, sinking the heel away from you. Rise up and switch. Rise up and switch. This time rise up, sink both heels away, pressing back, sinking through the breastbone and lift the tailbone. Deepening that stretch through the back line. And then walk those hands, pushing the floor away from you, softening the knees if you need, but come back into your roll down and hang. Just notice how the body feels now. Breath in, exhale, roll the tailbone underneath you, curl through the low back, mid back, upper back. Peel that chin away from the chest, reach up. And then here we roll down one last time, curl through the spine, soft knees. Lift that tailbone and hang. Walk those hands forward, back into your downward dog. Rise up onto those toes, then sink both away, sinking through the breastbone. Head heavy. And now fold those knees in underneath you. And as you come down, if you've got the range in your knees, you're going to keep hovering the knees and try and stack the knees under the hips. Glide the shoulder blades down the chest wall and hands should be in line with your shoulders or slightly in front just to offload the wrists. And hold here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that tailbone, come back into your downward dog. Press back through the hands into the feet. Breath in and then exhale, fall back down, hover those knees. As you do so, you glide the shoulder blades down the chest wall, head doesn't drop, stay lifted away from the floor, knees just into a little hover, and imagine a tray of drinks across your back, so you're keeping your back nice and straight with a little puddle in your lower back here. 4 more seconds, 3, 2, 1, lift that tailbone, press back into your downward dog. And then fold. This time bring those knees in underneath you, flatten the feet and drop into a nice shell, soft elbows, let that head hang. Breathe into the back of the rib cage there, expanding wide. And then walk forward. Just come down onto your front. Elbows just stacked under your shoulders. And here, connect your pubic bone into the mat and just lift. And I don't mind if you just open wide through the front of the shoulders and just lift the chin. Bite the teeth together, so as you stretch through the front line, you get a deep stretch through the front of the neck. And then let that chin roll down. Bring the feet out wide and just turn your heels in, feet out, just to get a stretch through the front of the hips. You don't want to feel a big arch in your low back. If you need to come a little bit lower through the body, don't feel a compression through that spine. And just try to get the heels on the floor, and then you're going to push through those elbows, through the forearms, and get that little lift without creating any compression into that low back. You connect your pubic bone down into the floor, that's going to help stabilise that lower back. And then drop down. Cool, bring your hands under your shoulders, push up, bring the knees in and drop into a shell.